Welcome back to Weird Stuff in a Can. Today's Weird Stuff in a Can is smoked cod liver. So yeah, what we have today on Weird Stuff in a Can is smoked cod liver. This came from Spain. I picked this up while I was in Spain a couple of weeks ago. Just picked it up in a supermarket and it was about €1. And it is just smoked cod livers. Yeah, it's just, ingredients are just smoked cod liver and oil. So, I have no idea what to expect here. From my Google searches, it seems like this is something which is typically spread on toast or something like that. So let's open it up and see what we're dealing with. In fact, I think I'm just going to get a plate under that because it's in oil and I really don't want that to go everywhere. So let's open it one up and have a look. Well, it does look exactly like the image on the front of the can, which is encouraging. And so yeah, we've got smoked cod liver in oil there. Let's have a little sniff of what that smells like. Okay, well it smells, as you might imagine, pretty fishy. So let's take a tiny little bit out. I'm just going to taste it on its own first. This is not, I believe, how you're meant to enjoy it. But let's just have a little taste of that as it is on its own. Okay, so the taste is canned fish sort of flavour, but actually very fishy. The texture is like very smooth, creamy pate, I suppose. And actually there's an aftertaste, a really intensely fishy aftertaste that hits you. Yeah, just a really punchy fish flavour right at the back of it. So I thought what we'd do is try and enjoy this as I believe it's meant to be enjoyed, which is as a topping for tostada. I've got a couple of nice bits of toasted bread here. I've rubbed those with a garlic clove, and I've got some nice tomatoes, chopped capers and chopped pickled chilies. So let's take a bit of this smoked cod liver, and I don't really know what kind of quantity it's meant to be served in. I don't know whether you're meant to leave this in chunks on the top there. It does actually spread, so I'm going to assume that it's not meant to be too liberally applied. It might even be that that is more than you're meant to put on there. And then I think we'll have a little bit of capers on there. And a tiny little bit of this pickled chili. Let's just try that and see what that tastes like. That does taste like the kind of thing that I would quite expect to find on offer. Maybe as tapas. And when it's balanced out with all these other flavours, the bread, the garlic, the chilies, the capers, it actually is really quite a nice rounded sort of fishy taste. The texture is nothing to write home about. It's very creamy, sort of smooth texture, but the flavour is quite mild when it's balanced out with other things, when it's actually presented. I think probably this is not a thing you would ever want to eat directly out the can. It's almost like a condiment, this thing. I could see maybe you would spread this as a layer and then you put some prawns or some chunks of cooked fish or something like that on the top of it, and it would enhance that flavour of that other seafood. Eva, I don't know if you can hear a whistling noise. It's Eva crying just off to left of camera there. She's smelt the contents of this can and she desperately wants to taste them. Maybe a tiny little bit. One thing to say actually is I can't really detect much of a smoky aroma in this smoked cod liver. So it's been done quite subtly. I suppose that's actually a good thing, because you know, sometimes smoky things, if it's overdone, it can be quite unpleasant. Well, I'm going back for more. So that's got to be a sign that this is good. So I quite like this. I'm not really all that sure that everyone would. My gustatory tastes are relatively broad. One of the things I find often with weird stuff in a can is I'm opening stuff up thinking this is going to be a bit weird, and actually I find it quite palatable. But I think that might say as much about my taste as it does about the quality or flavour of the ingredients. However, there's nothing offensive about this. There's nothing particularly even challenging about the flavour or texture. This is, I think, the only thing that would put you off eating this. If you do like fish, the only thing that would put you off eating this is the idea of eating smoked cod liver. And it's not a weird thing at all. In fact, it's like the texture is just actually buttery and creamy, and like I say, the flavour is mild and actually quite delicious. So there we go. That is smoked cod liver from Spain. That was Weird Stuff in a Can on Atomic Shrimp. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.